Welcome to the History Loom. Today, we're soaring through the skies of history as we explore the fascinating evolution of airlines, from the earliest mythological flying chariots to the massive global networks we rely on today. So fasten your seatbelts as we take off on a historical journey of flight. Let's begin with an ancient myth that foreshadowed human flight, the Pushpaka Vimana, a flying chariot mentioned in the Indian epic Ramayana. Described as a magical, self-propelled vehicle that could fly at incredible speeds, it was said to appear and disappear at will, controlled by its passengers. Though a creation of myth and legend, the Pushpaka Vimana ignited imaginations and set the stage for humanity's fascination with flight. While ancient cultures like the Greeks, Chinese, and Indians envisioned flying machines in their mythology, it wasn't until the modern era that the dream of flight would begin to materialize. Fast forward to the early 20th century, when human ingenuity transformed the dream of flight into reality. In December 1903, Orville and Wilbur Wright achieved the world's first successful powered flight at Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. This small 12-second flight by the Wright brothers laid the foundation for the airline industry, though the concept of scheduled air travel was still a distant vision. For years, flight was seen as an adventurous pursuit, often undertaken by pioneers like Charles Lindbergh, who made the first solo non-stop transatlantic flight in 1927, further propelling the public's interest in aviation. The turning point came in 1914 with the launch of the St. Petersburg-Tampa airboat line in Florida. This was the first scheduled commercial airline service in history, flying passengers over the bay in a single-engine seaplane. Though short-lived, it marked the first step towards the airline industry as we know it today. Airlines began to develop on a larger scale in the 1920s and 1930s, with Pan American Airways leading the charge. In 1927, Pan Am made its first international flight to Cuba, laying the groundwork for the first global airline network. By the late 1930s, Pan Am was operating transatlantic flights, and soon, airlines were expanding worldwide. Throughout the mid-20th century, the airline industry grew rapidly. By the 1950s, jet engines had revolutionized air travel, with airlines like TWA and British Airways introducing commercial jets, significantly cutting travel times and making flying more accessible. The Boeing 707, which entered service in 1958, was one of the first commercial jetliners, capable of crossing the Atlantic in just under 8 hours. A monumental shift in the speed and reach of air travel. Airliners like the 707 helped bring flight to the masses, turning what was once a luxury for the rich into something many could afford. The 1990s brought about another significant transformation with the rise of airline alliances. Airlines began to partner up to streamline operations, cut costs, and expand their reach without the need for mergers. This cooperation led to the creation of the three major global airline alliances: Star Alliance, founded in 1997, SkyTeam, founded in 2000, and Oneworld, founded in 1999. These alliances, which together account for over 60% of global commercial air traffic, allow airlines to share routes, offer mutual benefits to frequent flyers, and provide more destinations to travelers. The code-sharing agreements these alliances have implemented mean that passengers can book flights with one airline but travel on another, ensuring greater flexibility and more options for travel. The global airline industry is now a behemoth, transporting billions of passengers each year. However, the growth of air travel hasn't come without its challenges. As air travel has expanded, so too has its environmental impact. Airlines have been responsible for increasing emissions, with aviation now accounting for about 2–3% of global CO2 emissions. With demand for air travel expected to keep rising, the industry has been under pressure to find more sustainable practices. Major airlines are investing in biofuels, like algae-based jet fuel, and exploring electric aircraft as potential solutions. Innovations in fuel efficiency and alternative energy sources could make a big difference in reducing aviation's carbon footprint in the years to come. Another important facet of the airline industry's growth has been its economic impact. In 2015, airlines carried more than 3.5 billion passengers, and this number is projected to rise in the coming decades. The development of low-cost carriers, LCCs, in the 1990s and 2000s revolutionized air travel by making flying more affordable. Airlines like Southwest, Ryanair, and EasyJet demonstrated that flying didn't have to be expensive, creating a massive surge in passenger numbers. In the U.S. alone, low-cost carriers grew from about 10% of the market share in 1990 to more than 30% by 2015. These carriers have driven down ticket prices and increased competition, benefiting travelers around the world. However, the airline industry has faced its fair share of challenges, particularly financial ones. Despite the widespread success of the airline industry, it has been known for its cyclical nature, with frequent ups and downs. For example, after deregulation in the United States in 1978, airlines faced a rough patch, struggling with intense competition and soaring fuel costs. The early 2000s saw a sharp decline with the impacts of 9/11, as air travel became more expensive and less secure. Many airlines have merged or been acquired over the years as part of an ongoing trend of consolidation within the industry. One of the most remarkable elements of airline history is the significant role played by state support. Many airlines, especially in the early years, were funded or directly operated by governments, which saw aviation as a strategic asset. Even today, some of the largest airlines, such as Emirates, Qatar Airways, and Singapore Airlines, are government-owned. However, in the post-deregulation era, airlines have largely moved to privatization, seeking profitability through competition, mergers, and streamlining operations. From a time when flight was just a dream, to becoming a cornerstone of global transport, the history of airlines is a testament to human ambition and innovation. And as we look ahead, the future of air travel promises even more changes, with exciting developments in sustainable technologies and faster, more efficient planes that may someday get us from one side of the world to the other in record time. Thank you for joining me on this historical journey through the skies. If you enjoyed this video and want to explore more fascinating stories from the past, make sure to subscribe to the History Loom. See you next time.